Checking. Are we on? Did we do it? I'm on the slow computer. Coming at you live at 17 frames per second. Damn, the minute I hit streaming, my laptop is not happy right now. It'll work. It'll be fine. Hello, everybody. Hit refresh. I mean, I guess if you're seeing me, you've already hit refresh, or maybe you're seeing some stuff in the chat. But yes, hit refresh. We are not live from the Blue Room, really, actually, not yet. I know, it's utterly ridiculous. Those of you who tuned in to my Wednesday mashup listening party saw that I ended up painting all the walls of my living room chroma key blue for a blue screen effect. So you can kind of see, I mean, here, let me, you can see right there, you can see over here, but then you also see my kitchen, my kitchen, and more importantly, all these damn boxes. It has been crazy. Okay, good. I'm glad. Just here for coffee. I'm glad that it seems smooth. Yeah, and it looks like it's a little smoother now. Okay, good. And done proofing. Yes, it's an entire box of pint glasses. I collect pint glasses. It's a thing I do. If I'm at a bar or a club or a restaurant and it's got like a custom printed pint glass with their logo on it, I liberate said pint glass from the establishment and give it a new home here to be joined with all of my other fabulous pint glasses as little souvenirs and reminders of the many, many places where I have drank a pint. So yes, I have an entire huge box of pint glasses. That's not even all of them. Some of them are actually at my Airbnb. But these are the favorites. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy in here. I am very, very, very happy that I've managed to get all of this running. For those who don't know, I literally just moved. I moved from Berlin back to San Francisco. I've been in San Francisco now for 5 days. I spent the first the first 2 days dealing with painting, getting paint, getting all the stuff, then painting. I finished painting on Wednesday during my mashup listening party. We got a blue screen effect going. I wonder if you can actually sort of see here. Let me, everything is running super, super sluggish on my laptop because I'm no longer on Jupiter Gatling's super mega fast iMac. So this, it's like, it feels like every time I click something, it's like, I have to kind of like wait for it to like catch up. Good times. But here, there you go. This is literally what my walls look like. This is what I'm living in right now. I will, I can turn it a little bit. So yeah, there's like a hallway door that leads to the bedroom. That's the kitchen with a bunch of boxes behind me. That's an entire wall right here. It goes all the way down. So yeah, I'm basically living in a blue screen studio. So just in case you had any question of like, I know Booty Mashup said they're going to keep live streaming, once parties start happening, but are they really? Yes, we really are. This is proof of my commitment to live streaming, is the fact that this is my first opportunity to set up an entire apartment with live streaming in mind. So, I the furniture layout, the walls, the way I'm going to place the lights. It's with the intention of, yes, I can just, like, I want to be able to just be like, I'm going to do a DJ set on the Booty Mashup channel, or I'm just going to hang out and we're going to listen to a whole bunch of new songs I have. We're just going to, whatever. Like I actually want to live stream more, but I want to make the process easy where I'm just like, bloop, and turn it on, start streaming, and there we go. And we're not there yet, as you can see. I've been a little too busy painting, moving boxes over here, but so nothing is set up yet. Like, it's still going to be another week or two before like I really have the setup that I want. And then there is that pesky little notion of I have IRL parties to throw. We are this Saturday. The whole reason I moved back here is because on Tuesday, San Francisco, well, really all of California reopened, and our first San Francisco party at DNA Lounge is this Saturday. So I'm actually going to DNA Lounge tonight for a synthwave night called Turbo Drive. That's their opening night. Coincidentally, also, the promoter of that party also happens to be the manager of DNA Lounge. So kind of makes perfect sense that that's the opening night party. But we are night number 2. We are the first Saturday night back. Booty Mashup rebooted at DNA Lounge. And we're all like, we're super excited, but we're also really nervous too. Everybody I've talked to, every club promoter, every DJ, every performer, everyone's having a little bit of trouble getting back up to speed. It's been like 15 months of a different vibe of, global pandemic vibe, and we've thrown all our eggs into live streaming, and now it's like, now we're not pivoting back. It's just more like, we need to let muscle memory kick in and remember how to throw a real life party as well, and along with, of course, all the Twitch stuff. So I haven't, it's frustrating. I wish I could just take my phone, turn my phone off and just dedicate myself to like putting my entire home together, because I'm just surrounded by piles of boxes. Like, I painted all these blue screen walls, and I'm coming at you here because I literally cannot move my desk, because my desk is trapped, like barricaded by boxes and furniture. So I'm like, which is frustrating. But yeah, it will get better. Trust me. We're going to get it all dialed in. And yeah, so this Saturday, so here's what's happening. Here's what we got going on the Booty Mashup channel. Today, we've got a very special guest coming on the show. We've got Lewis Wake, all the way from Scotland. We're going to be giving him a call. We're going to shoot the shit. And then after that, we've got Neon Night with Airson. DJ Airson is doing her last official happy hour. And then she's doing an extra long set happy hour going into Neon Night. And PDS Mix will do the closing set. I know the Dance Commander Disco is going to be wearing all sorts of neon colors. This is mostly a theme for the Dance Commander Disco, with all the like neon. A lot of times they sent me a long list of themes they want to do, and it's all, of course, dress up themes, and it's going to be all the mashups you love, of course. And then tomorrow night we have a pre-party with DJ Lobster Dust, and then we are going to be live streaming live from DNA Lounge. If all goes well, we're going to be live streaming actually from the DJ booth. The plan, and we'll see if this works, is, it'll be the webcast, very multicam webcast from DNA Lounge, but we're also going to have a like an inset of the DJ booth cam, and we won't be able to have a microphone hooked up or anything, but we will be able to be there chatting, being in the chat, talking, and it'll be myself, Dada, and Airson for the very first party. And so it's going to be like, yeah, booth cam, DJ booth cam. And fair warning, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos to make sure that this live stream happens, because we've never done this particular setup before, where we're live streaming and DJing the party. But also, we know it's going to be chaos for just us at DNA Lounge. It's our first party back in 15 months. So I know, we're all going to be a little rusty. There's going to be a little bit of like, wait, how do we do this again? And plus there's been changes. There's been some staff turnover. I'm hoping it goes smoothly, but it's a party. And, if throwing parties for 20 years has taught me anything, is that like, just, expect the unexpected, always prepare for chaos, hope for the best, expect the worst. It's a party. Shit breaks, like anytime the sound just goes out, or the video goes out, or lights go out, or, some sort of tech thing goes wrong. I get on the microphone, assuming the microphone still works. And I'm always like, that's how you know that it's a party. It's like, when something breaks, when shit gets broken, that's when it's a real party. And the crowd is always like, because they're drunk as fuck anyway. You know how it goes. So anyway, Booty Mashup Twitch, thank you so much for being here for us over the past 15 months. And we are going to continue. I just cannot stress this enough. We are going to continue being here for you. Really, the only thing that changes is our Saturday nights. We're shuffling our schedule around here and there a little bit. Like I said, Happy Hour is going to be rotating DJs for Friday. I think Airson's moving to Thursdays. DJ Time's going to actually start a Sunday stream. I'm probably going to start doing a Monday stream as well. So we're adding shows almost kind of like to make up for Saturday nights are just going to be like live from the club and a little less, here we are, interactive, because we're throwing a party. But you guys get to be sort of like the fly on the wall, the voyeuristic, peek your head in, be in the DJ booth with us and watch the chaos. And we're going to try to add things to it. Originally, I had this whole idea of like, we're going to set up a green screen corner in the club. People will be able to dance like in real time with the Dance Commander Disco in the Zoom and like all this stuff. But, all that's biting off a little bit more than we can chew right now. The club's been closed for 15 months. We need to get up to speed first. So, yeah, it's, thanks everyone for your support. And I know, I hope it's all going to be great. And I love that you all love to watch. I'm hoping this live stream is going smooth here. God, like, Apple, when are you going to release the new MacBooks? Mama needs a new MacBook Pro. Thanks for, I can't even read. Who is that? Fathers42. Thanks for subbing. All right. So are we all ready, for our special guest? This is where it's all going to turn to shit. It's like, I feel like I don't want to touch anything on my system because it's just going to like crap out. But yeah, Smash Color's like, the stream is solid, really. Right. Until we try to Skype call Lewis Wake, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm hardwired in. That was actually, what the first thing that I did when I got to this apartment was actually, besides like, I got the keys, I looked at it. Yeah, I moved into this apartment without, I signed a lease on an apartment I had never actually stepped foot in. like this was all like I decided, I picked out a place and signed a lease purely based on FaceTime calls. I FaceTime with the leasing agent, and so the very first time I actually saw my apartment was on Monday when after I'd only been here like 12 hours and I got my keys. So that was the first thing I did. Oh yes, and yes, my other place is still an Airbnb. My other place is too expensive. Like I can't afford my own place because the mortgage is way too freaking high. So it's an Airbnb. I mean that's the sad truth of it. It's like I got a place in my divorce that I cannot afford to live in, so I Airbnb it because that's the only way I can pay the mortgage, which is one way to game the system, I guess. I really don't want to sell it because I love that place and I definitely want to move there someday, but maybe after the mortgage is paid down a little bit. So anyway, the second thing that I did after I moved in here was get internet. And oh, good people of Twitch, let me tell you, it's so nice not to be in Germany to get internet. Like, I literally just called up Xfinity and I'm like, I already know what I want. Like, they're like, well, let's ask you some questions. How much do you stream? How much do you, like, how are you going to use the internet? Da, da, da. And I'm just like, look, I need no less than 200 megabyte download and no less than 40 megabyte upload. Oh, sounds like you know what you want. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this bitch knows what she wants. And I got it. They like turned it on and they're like, yeah, just go to the Xfinity store and pick up your gear. I was like, I have my own modem. And they're like, no, trust me, you really, it was like, it's free for a year to lease their, like, I'm not paying anything. And I was like, fine. But holy shit, it just worked. It was like super plug and play. And no, actually, I have more than 200 megabyte download at Muffle Mug. I actually just double checked my speed. It's 200 minimum. I did a speed test yesterday, and it was 400 megabyte download, which is lovely. Yeah, this bitch is not in Germany anymore. So I'm super happy about that. But now we just need a computer, a live streaming computer that can kind of keep up with the internet speeds. So yeah. Oh, Muffle Mug, I love it. Yeah, you do know I live in San Francisco, which is like the ground zero of the entire tech industry. So yeah, there's a bunch of people here who are like, they need 200 megabyte download minimum. I'm one of them. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's jump in. I just want to say I'm really, really glad that Louis Wake nudged me a little bit when he did his guest DJ set here a few weeks ago. I really wanted to bring him on to Mashup Talk because I thought, oh, that'd be great. It's it's this weekend, but unfortunately he had a gig in Scotland in real life at this time on Friday night, so he couldn't do it. And then just a couple days ago, he was like, hey, you want to do Mashup Talk? And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for bugging me because I would have completely spaced. My brain is so scattered with trying to relaunch a party and everything else. All right, are we here? Did we do it? Oh, wait. Hey, how's it going,
Hi.
Louis? Nice to see you.
I don't know if everything goes well.
Well, I think we did okay. I'm
Stream
half
integration and
expecting
everything.
that your box here is gonna like get big and then get small and then get big and get small because that's apparently a Skype feature. But I'm happy you're here and thanks again for bugging me and for coming on to the show. So you definitely have like come out of nowhere as
No
like
worries,
just
anytime.
one
Anytime.
of the most prolific mashup producers like working today. I mean, when did you I actually after we did our little test test call like about an hour ago, I went and double checked to see like when was the first Louis Wake mashup I downloaded, and it was sometime in October. It was your Hallow Wake
Yeah.
album, but I feel like I had a few tracks before that, and then there was like a big deep dive into your back catalog, and like what the hell? Where did you come from?
I think that's around. I think October last year was. I think I DM'd you on Twitter. And bootleg mashup album of Calvin Harris tracks. What do you think? And then the Halloween one was a little bit after that, but it kind of all started like for me anyway, like March last year when lockdown happened, I was purely live streaming every Friday night. I would just do DJ sets on the internet for my friends, and that expanded. But it got to a point in like July that last year where I was like getting exhausted, setting everything up to stream and then taking it all down to like, get back to life again. And I thought, no, I want to just like produce things. And I remember, I think it was either um, William Morancy put out an album, and I think it was the one with his mashup of MGMT Kids and Earth, Wind and Fire September. And I was like, I can do this. I can do this. I've been checking out One Board Jew for ages and Cumberbund and stuff. I was like, no, I can do this right here. And then I think it's because like I have such a vast, like well tagged DJ library with keys and BPMs and like everything solidly kind of connected that I was like just playing around with songs, and I'd always have like songs in my sets that would I would always be like, these songs are like identical, like Swift and Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne, or they have the DNA of like. So I've just had always those connections that I would play in my DJ sets or like mix between them and stuff. And then it was just a case of, well, let's just make a mashup. And I just love doing the A/B mashups.
Which
And it's
is,
just
and
been that ever
that's
since.
crazy that like, okay, so you've been a DJ for years, right? Like how long have you been DJing?
I first started DJing in
Okay.
2011. I was still in uni, and I think I watched the Dead Mouse DJ set on YouTube, and it was another case of I can do that. So I was the guy in the clubs at uni, and I was always kind of like, "What's the DJ doing? Like that they're not even in the same key. Whatever he's doing." So I was just like, "I want to do this. I want to take over." So I started DJing then. I put out mixes online, and a club brand in the UK got in touch with me, and they wanted me to DJ for one of their nights in Edinburgh, and then I pretty much secured a residency there, and I was just relentlessly touring across the UK playing for this brand, and just DJing every single Friday,
Nice.
Saturday, for about six
Cool.
years straight until I kind of like started to calm down a bit. So yeah, got quite. I think it's fun because I've had like a 10-year history of DJing now,
Well,
and
and so I
I
mean
haven't
that
really
definitely
managed to
gave
properly
you
reflect
a
on it
base
until now. I
to
think.
work from, a skill set to work from when you jumped into like producing. Are you a musician at all? Like you talk about how you already had your entire DJ library broken down with keys and stuff. But do you? So you at least understand a little bit of songcraft, which gives you a leg up with producing for sure.
Yeah. My brothers and I are very musical. I was guitar, my brother Ryan was bass, and my youngest brother, he was like a pianist through and through, like grade eight saxophone. He was like musical whiz kid. But my parents didn't know where it came from because they're not musical at all. They're like, how did this happen? Um, and yeah, I just played in bands, listened to music relentlessly in my teens, and so I think I just had this like, grounded knowledge. I was the kid. As soon as I got internet, I was
Oh my
like, right,
god.
okay,
Yeah,
what is
I
LimeWire? I
definitely
want
have a
everything.
huge collection of just weirdly tagged tracks from LimeWire, Napster, all of it.
Yeah, yeah. I was going through a DJ collection recently, and I saw this like really low quality, super compressed Arctic Monkeys track, and I'm like, that sounds horrible. And I checked the date added iTunes library for it,
Yeah,
and it
well,
was like 2007,
that's
and I'm like,
crazy that
oh, I know where that's from.
that you like just never really thought about producing until and because nowadays it seems like a lot of DJs do try to try their hand at remixing and producing pretty right out of the gate, and so you're a little a little late to the
Oh yeah.
game. However, you had such a solid base to work with that it feels like you came out of nowhere and there was like no learning curve. Like a lot of times, people start making mashups. You can tell it's their like first time making mashups, and they eventually get better over the course of a year or two. And you just like
Yeah.
sprung out of nowhere, fully formed with just with such a solid ear for especially A plus B mashups that I was convinced that you'd been making mashups for years and you just suddenly decided, oh, I guess I'll post them to the internet now.
Yeah, I think there. Don't get me wrong. I did have some production background before I seen. If I remember involved in it as well, and I thought, how can I like introduce them to like these, wait for the drop kind of like electro house, vibes. And I thought, well, if I take modern chart top 40 tracks and put the acapellas on those, then so I was like making rough mashups back then. But every so often I would like even just like make my own little mashup. But it wasn't until that I could just fully work from home. I had like years of experience of DJing and like a huge catalog at my belt. That I
Yeah,
thought I'm
we
just gonna
talk a
go
lot
nuts. I'm
about
just gonna
these
keep
old
churning them
school
out.
producers who kind of came out of retirement when the Corona apocalypse first happened. But you're the other side of it, of someone who was like, oh, so I suddenly have a bunch of free time and started making mashups. But you are like heir apparent to a long line of amazing Scottish producers. And I love that as you've jumped into the mashup scene, just like, head
Yeah,
first, like just going full throttle, that you've been introduced to a bit of the history, like Pomme de Terre and Dun Proofin, who's Scottish, and he's one of the old school guys. We talk a lot about Gaibo, the Gaibo message board, which was started by McSleazy from Glasgow. And then of course there's also another newcomer as well is Scottish. I Will Battle. Like, what's in the water over there?
yep. I don't know. I don't know. I think it must be something to do with lockdown, just like something just happening, especially because I remember I saw one of I Will Battle's tracks on Reddit. It was a Little Mix versus Power Rangers or something, and I was like, it's solid. And I got in touch with him, and it turns out he's in Dundee and I'm in Edinburgh. Like, no way. That's so coincidental. But I never knew about Pomme de Terre or Dumproofing or any of the history of like the mashup culture in the UK and Scotland until I started tuning to the Booty Mashup streams and then interacting with people in the Discord channels. I didn't know it existed because I was just so
Didn't know that
out
there
of the
was a
community. I didn't
community.
know
I
that it
mean,
really
I will
existed.
say the great thing about, I mean, it's been a
Yeah,
sucky year and 3 months for sure, but one of the wonderful things, and we've talked about this on this channel before, is that it has helped build the community and it's bridged some of the gaps too. There's like, there's a bunch of mashup communities in
definitely.
Discord.
Yeah,
I love the fact that, it's a bunch of these new school YouTube producers like Cummerbund and Morancy and One Board Jew that actually inspired you, and
yeah, absolutely. Like I definitely knew of mashups. I think the first real like mashup effort that I remember checking out was Girl Talk's album All Day, and I put that on and I was just like, oh my god, what is this? It's like an entire soundscape of nothing but just like taking samples and layering them on top of each other, and but still having that party vibe. That's a build up from 90 BPM right up to 150 for an hour straight, and I loved it. And I kind of like based my DJ sets around that album. Um, yeah, it's definitely like the YouTube side of things. Um, definitely One Bird You, William Morancy, Cumberbund.
oh my God,
They
yeah.
struck at the right time for YouTube to kind of like lift their platforms up. And I think I've always been like seeing One Bird You stuff, especially just like popping up in my subscription feed or just like recommended, and I'm like, that's nuts. It's And it's not until now that I'm like, I love
Well,
this. I love making these style of
oh yeah, no,
mashups,
for
and
sure.
it is
Especially, I mean,
addictive.
I
Believe
can
me.
tell. You remind me a little bit of a few producers from back in the day. One of them's part of our crew, DJ Trip. And when he first started getting into mashup culture, it was like literally a mashup every single day he was releasing. And I feel like you're definitely keeping pace with that. I
Yeah,
mean, you've put out. Okay, so you started making mashups in August is what you said, August 2020. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Officially keeping track of them since August 2020. The rest of them were just lost. White label stuff that I
Sure.
just buried in a
So
hard
yeah,
drive somewhere, never
mashups volume
actually found
one, I
again.
guess, is was your first. Did you ever kind of like just drop mashups here and there, like on YouTube or in like a Reddit or anywhere else, or did you just come out of the gate with like, okay, here's I'm not going to release this until you've got 12 tracks or whatever it was on mashups volume one.
Yeah, well, I think I definitely, posted some to SoundCloud
Of
back in the day that
course.
I just obliterated by DMCA. But like I didn't put out like collections until I knew I had enough, and it wasn't until I think I just published them to YouTube. I had like a schedule like all set up of like here's all the tracks I've made in the past month, and I was like, right, I've made 2 weeks of backlog, and then I'll start. I've got the videos here. I'll start publishing them to YouTube. I had like a schedule, 9 a.m. every day. There'd be a new mashup video going out, and then I was like, oh my god, I have like 50 mashups here. I can release them somehow. How do I allow people to download them, like effectively? And I like said, well, hopefully Bandcamp works, and it seems to have worked in my favor so far. It's still standing.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Every
I'm
other platform's
fascinated
been
by this
destroyed, but
because
Bandcamp's still there.
you've come into it right now, and it's like so many. It's like so you're a brand new producer, so I'm utterly fascinated by like, okay, how did you? And you're trying to be methodical about it. It's like I'm making mashups. I want to get them out into the world. Where do I post them? What do I do? How do I promote myself? And it feels like you've done fairly well.
Yeah.
But you have had some issues. Like I know your Twitter got taken down, your YouTube got taken down as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I posted like mega mix out versions of my
Okay.
albums to SoundCloud as well, and SoundCloud got just completely obliterated. But it was YouTube that was just nuked essentially. It was like without notice as well, and it was a channel that I first set up to
Mm-hmm.
post like guitar videos to back in like 2010 or something. So I had like a back catalog of guitar videos and stuff there, and I just started posting the mashups there, and then I think it was November, no, it was February this year that I tried to log into YouTube one day and it was like, this account doesn't exist. I'm like, maybe I typed in the wrong password. Like, I had no idea it was completely nuked. No notification, no nothing. But I just shrugged it off and was like,
Yeah, I
well, I'll
mean
just make a new one.
it's
Can't stop
you
me.
definitely. I mean, it sucks, but I'm glad you learned that lesson early, because sometimes I've heard so many stories
Yeah,
where there's producers who have been posting their shit to whatever SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever, and for years and years and years, and they've got a huge catalog they've built. They've got a huge amount of followers, and then it's just all gone. At least it happened early enough that you could kind of like hit the reset button without
yeah.
feeling like. I mean, I'm sure you had the wind knocked out of your sails, but it wasn't like, oh my god, my entire social media career just got torpedoed.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was kind of a bit difficult because everything got like kind of was target at the same time. The only thing that survived was Instagram. Um, but I just kind of shrugged off and I was like, I'll just build this again. I'm still making mashups. If you want to download them, the people who really care about, the stuff I put out there will seek me out and find me again. And I'm not really doing it for the numbers. I'm doing it just for the people who recognize it and see the tracks that I'm putting out there as ammunition for their DJ sets. I've made some hip hop mashups. I don't play hip hop in any of my sets, but people have contacted me saying this will work perfect for the DJ set I'm working on. I'm like,
Huh.
that's great. I'm glad I could help. facilitate your DJ set. Um, so it's just I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it
And
for
I
the
mean, it's
numbers. I'm just doing it for
satisfying,
the DJs.
obviously,
Really.
to you've got a project. I mean, people have fed me ideas every
Yeah.
now and then, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can make that. Or more often than not, I point them to who I know can make it really good. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of time when people ask me to make, like, they send me requests of two songs, I usually just don't bother with it,
Yeah,
because I
exactly.
feel like I wouldn't have as much passion to craft it effectively. A lot of the time I'll work on tracks that I love and hold dear to my heart, and I know that there's some sort of connection between the two, and I'll just connect them that way. But the thing I'm really trying to craft is just an alternative timeline, an alternative reality of sound. Like, here's what if, what if Taylor Swift was emo? What if Britney Spears was metal? That's the kind of thing that I want to craft. Just putting
Yeah, no, and
different ideas into people's heads. It's that
I
kind of
love that. I mean,
multiverse thing
the
where
the
it's like, well,
the, the
what
what
if
if
this?
Taylor Swift was emo uh, mixtape that you put together literally just had my name written all over it. I'm a huge Swiftie, and I also love emo. And it was just like, oh, is Louis Wake just pandering to me now? Like, what the fuck? This is just like perfect for me. But I love that that you're passionate about
Yeah.
that kind of alternate reality and that genre clash, because that's obviously what we champion so much of here at Booty Mashup, and what I personally love. And it seems like we share some of the same musical tastes too. I mean, if you're, it's like, oh, there's definitely
Yeah.
you've got your share of EDM bangers, but at the same time there's also like just a healthy amount of like emo and rock and alternative in your mashup production. You're really all over the map.
Yeah. Yeah, like my kind of like upbringing in the like I was a teenager through the noise. That was me, and I was 15, 16 years old when Fall Out Boy, Paramore, like My Chemical Romance and stuff really hit it big. So I was full on, emo side fringe. It's not a phase, mom. And then start of the early tens, suddenly this EDM boom happened. You've got Dead Mouse, Calvin Harris, Hardwell, just that huge Avicii, the huge boom that happened then, and I was full on sucker for that. So I think it's just my taste just is just my upbringing, really. It's just, here's what happens. That's why that I don't have like a huge catalog of 80s mashups or anything in the past. It tends to be like tracks that are more relevant
Yeah,
to my
exactly. I
upbringing
mean,
more than
that
anything,
makes
because I'm
perfect
familiar with them
sense.
more than any.
I mean, and it's always more fun to mash up stuff that you do have a personal connection with. I mean, let's face it, you need to sit there and listen to the same thing over and over and over again while you're working on your, like, what do you use actually? I remember tuning in to one of your, like, basically make a mashup live, and you were using, I want to say FL Studio. Yeah.
Yeah. My process is my entire DJ library is within the Pioneer system, because I use USB sticks to DJ at the clubs I play.
Mm-hmm.
So I was using Rekordbox. That's curating my library. Everything's perfectly tagged in there, and there's a great little suggestion. Can't remember the name of it. It's like a great little suggestion window in Rekordbox that will say, "You're playing this track. Here's a track that is plus or minus 5% BPM with what you're playing, plus the related key." So it'd be like either the key that's one off it or two off it, and it's
Sure.
all the whole like Camelot mixing, circle of fifths kind of idea. So I'll say, here's the harmonic related key, and that's the real secret sauce. There is that I have this whole library here, but I can see the tracks that are instantly matching, so I don't have to dig through
Yeah.
databases online to see, what is the same key. And then I'll just find remix
They're
stems,
there.
mainly
Yeah.
from Guitar Hero or Rock Band or something, because they're all out there. Yeah, and I've always used FL Studio. I first had a copy of it when I was like 20. I pirated it, played around with it, and thought, I'm not going to be the next like, Hello Goodbye or something, or Owl City, I'll just leave that. But I started to kind of like, learn a bit more of it and make mashups in there. So it's just my preferred digital audio workstation. And now they have like quantizing features in there as well, and the ability to actually record directly into the DAW as well, where it never had that before. So yeah, Rekordbox for
Yeah.
sourcing ideas, and then FL Studio for actually
Yeah,
crafting
I
them.
mean, FL
I
Studio,
feel
from
like
what I
I'm just more
understand, is
comfortable
a bit of
working in
the
it.
underdog, but I know it's come a long way. And, because so many producers are like,
Yeah, always has been.
Serato and Ableton Live, Serato or Tractor for DJing, and then, Ableton Live or
Yep,
GTFO, right?
yep,
Especially, you know,
hmm totally. But there's like default
yeah,
DAWs on every built-in Mac now. GarageBand or even Audacity will work if you have the right stems and the patience to get everything working. It does work. It doesn't have to be this executive suite producer edition product. If you've got the passion and the drive to work on something, you can do it.
yeah.
And then it's just a case of finding your rhythm and continuing it. And if you really love making
So
them,
you
you will continue
just
doing it
started DJing
naturally.
in clubs again, right? Scotland reopened a bit.
A little bit, yeah, not entirely. I've been playing beer gardens for one of my a club that I'm close to. They contacted me and said, "Look, we've got the opportunity to open our beer gardens now. We have the facility to play music quietly. So would you like to do that for us?" I'm like, "Yes, please, absolutely. I need that back in my life." Um, and it's really weird because the Scottish guidelines are people can sit, with up to 8 different households all in their at the tables. They're not allowed to leave tables without masks on,
Right? Yeah,
but they're not
absolutely.
allowed to sing because projection.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to dance because that just riles people up and it gets them moving. So I have to play DJ sets for people that are not allowed to sing, not allowed to dance, but they have to stay there and buy drinks.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
it is the hardest DJ sets I've ever played.
Like,
Playing
yeah, that
songs
is
that
like
won't elicit
such
that
a
response is
balancing
impossibly
act
hard.
where you want to be good, you want to keep them drinking, you want to keep them there, but don't get them too excited. Wow.
Yeah, but excited enough to stay. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
And the secret that I found is just throwback music, one hit
Right.
wonders that I totally forgot about. So they'd be like, "Oh, I remember this." But not know all the way. You know that the police are
Oh
going to show
God,
up.
yeah,
It's not.
everyone's gonna be
It's not
singing
going to come.
along. Exactly. Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah,
So well, I'm glad that you're out, at least doing doing some DJ sets again. I'm
yeah.
looking forward to Saturday, but I'm also nervous as fuck as well because it's like, oh my God, I haven't
Oh yeah. I was
haven't
the exact same.
haven't
Exact same.
DJ'd. It's like I need to remember. It's like on Twitch. It's a little chatty, right? You can chat. It's like the hardest thing is going to be like, oh, I need to shut the fuck up while I'm DJing.
Yeah, like I don't even have a mic with my DJ sets now, and I'm like, what's up, chat? I'm tempted to be like, post your emotes in the chat,
Right.
guys. I can't do that
Yeah,
to the
don't
crowd.
come up to the DJ booth to request something. Just post it in the chat.
Oh, thanks for the sub.
Right.
Yeah, I can't do
Oh
that in
my
real setting
God.
now. It's very confusing.
So I know when you DJ'd, when you did your guest DJ set for the Booty Mashup channel, was this your first time doing a 100% mashup set for a DJ set? I'm guessing it was,
Um,
right?
first time doing 100% mashup set that was
Okay.
entirely my mashups, because I got to the point where I'm like, I have like 4 hours worth of mashups here that I can play. I'm like, might as well like get to know them a little bit more. It was fun like digging through the library that I managed to craft and just see what was related to each other as well. But I think I first did a full mashup set just last year for one of my streams. I did like themed nights. I did like it's a rock night, it's 90s noise pop, it's 80s, and then I did one where it was just mashups. And I remember like sitting on my laptop just downloading as like just ripping as much One Board Jew, Cummerbund, William Morancy tracks from YouTube as I could. And I'm like, great, I can do like a mashup DJ set now. And that was fun, but that was the first like time I did a full mashup DJ set. Um, but it was so much fun just, playing all the tracks I built just for the Booty Mashup set. I felt like that was special. I felt like
Yeah, I mean, and that's what
this
it
is
was meant to
great.
be.
I've
It
got
was
this
like
entire
definitely the
artillery
Lose
here that
Wake
I can just
showcase
play
set. So
out.
I figured you would probably do all of your own mashups, but I find it funny
Yeah,
that like doing them in a set so you can live with them a little bit because I'm guessing you've been so prolific that there's probably like mashups you've made and was like, oh, yeah, I barely remember making this. This one came together quick and I put it out there. Is that how it went?
yeah. It happens sometimes. I'm digging through like I was finding out what tracks are related to whatever that I've got here, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot I made that like Katy Perry Kanye West one. Let's
Oh.
play that. Listen to it again. I'm like, I should have mastered that better. So I'm tempted to go back and like rework some of the older mashups so like
It's
the
so funny
waveforms
that
are nice and
it's like
tight, but you know,
go back
we'll
like a
get there
few
one
months.
day.
Usually when people talk about remastering their tracks, it's like years and years and years later because the yeah, the time stretching algorithm in Ableton Live is better, or they now have a piece of software that and the skill set to be able to master. You're talking about remastering stuff that you released a few months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also because I'm re-listening to them, and because I made so many mashups in that time, like I know that I'm using different compressors for vocals that, and I'm panning things differently, and I know what works for what track. But listen to the early ones, it sounds like I've just slapped them on top of each other, snapped them to a beat grid and pressed export. I didn't really do as much mixing as I could have back then to kind of give it, the
Yeah.
full character and really give it that alternative reality sound to it. It feels like just a glimpse into
Well,
the
yeah, I
alternate
mean,
reality rather
there
than
is
like
a
solid
sonic
product that's from a
professionalism
timeline.
to your tracks that again really elevates it. I mean, I will say like I'm so happy you reached out and introduced yourself because who knows how long it would have been before we discovered you on our own. But so you already seemed like, oh my god, this stuff's really good. But yeah, I know what you mean. Going back and listening to some of the early work, I do know it's still pretty high level, but not compared to what you've like managed to rise up in just like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, it's just that natural progression of totally. It's that natural progression of you can see like if you listen to people's earlier work, you can see that it's like a little bit rough around the edges, but as they progress, you see its tighter product. I think I've just had like a very crash course of that where I just relentlessly publish
Yeah,
this
how
stuff out,
many like
so you can
do
see
you have a
the
number?
early
How
work,
many
which is
mashups have
from
you
8 months
made
ago.
since August?
I don't have a solid number because I have like the compilation albums and then like the themed albums and stuff. But I think it's definitely 250 plus of just like individual tracks that aren't, extended editions or album versions. These are solid
Yeah,
tracks that you
that's
can
crazy.
download,
That's
put them in an
almost.
individual
I
DJ
mean, that
set.
also
There's
probably
250 since
works out
August.
to almost, almost one a day.
I think so. Yeah, there was definitely times where it would get to the weekend, or my girlfriend would be working shift, and I would just be up until like 4 a.m. and she'd be like, "Why aren't you asleep yet?" And I'm like, "I made 8 mashups. Help,
Oh my
help
goodness.
me get out of this."
So when walk me through your you started making mashups. You figured out that you should put them on Bandcamp, and posting them to YouTube. And then how did you like sort of like you kept getting more and more introduced into the community? Like where were you finding us? Where were you finding your people? I mean, obviously on the Booty Mashup Twitch, but were there some Discords and Reddits that you were yeah.
I was posting to the our Mashup subreddit the early days, and I was, finding a lot of mashups from there. I can't remember when I first discovered Booty Mashup, but I think I followed you guys on Twitch quite early on. And I didn't even know anything about the community or the
Thank
brand
you.
at that point. I was like, these streams look fun. I'll follow. And I just tuned in. I remember watching one of DJ Time's sets when it was like the middle of the day here, and I was watching one of his sets. And I was just like, this is chaotic. I love it. Um, but I can't remember. I can't remember how I got in contact with you the first time. I can't remember where I found your details or how I stumbled across your Twitter. But I was like,
Yeah, and I
this
think I
person,
pointed you to
she'll
like,
know what to
oh,
do.
post your stuff on SoundHouse.
And
I
here
always
we
tell
are.
people to post their stuff on SoundHouse because I'm just waiting for like, okay, when Bandcamp is suddenly like when your Bandcamp account
Yeah.
disappears, you want that stuff at least somewhere in a, a safe haven.
Safe bubble. Yeah, I've been working on re-uploading everything to Soundhouse over time, but it will happen one day. The bubble will burst. Something destructive will happen to the Mashup community. So I'm also like I'm uploading stuff to Bandcamp, and then I'm re-downloading the MP3 version, the WAV version, the FLAC version, and put them on a hard drive, so that when that implodes, I'm like, okay, well,
Right.
you can download everything over here anyway. Same thing, just
Oh
it's
yeah.
over there
Oh,
now.
definitely.
Um,
I know so
you got
many
to you got the backup your shit.
producers from back in the day who actually have reached out to me and been like, I had a hard drive crash. Do you have any of my older material? I'm like, yeah, but you didn't have that shit backed up. I mean, yeah, and it used to be on YouTube, but it's gone for some
Yep.
reason. Yeah, no.
No, it's gone. You can't rely on YouTube to hold your stuff. Have
Oh
a
my God,
cloud
Lewis,
backup,
I can
have a
tell
hard
that
drive in your house, have a hard
you're
drive
like
at your
me in the
parents' house
sense
or
that you're
something.
probably even
Pack that up, get out
worse
there.
than me and I mean in a good way of being like hyper organized and like just on it, knowing that you had a 10-year DJ career and like super cataloging all your tracks that really like just I love the fact that you just had such a leg up on producing because you were so fucking organized. Yeah.
It didn't happen overnight, believe me. There was one point I think like 4 years
Ugh.
ago where I looked at my iTunes library and I was like, this is a mess. I need to sort it. So I went through and I reduced the tracks that I had. Like I had like 16,000 tracks in there, and I reduced it down to like 4,000 tracks that I know I would play in a DJ set. Tagged them all,
Oh.
analyzed them by key, replaced the ones that were low quality, and just built it up again. But yeah, even like finding like STEM resources online, if there's a website that's just distributing those stems, I'm such a data hoarder that I'll buy a hard drive and download as much as I can from it while I can,
Right. And
because
so
that
so you
site could
just like
disappear
have it
and then
there
you're never going to be able to get
always.
those stems again.
Yeah.
So
That is crazy. I want
yeah,
to know
in case I
is
need it
your
one day.
house like
Yeah,
hyper organized or is it just your hard
yeah.
drive? Okay.
No, no, my house is insane. My
I've
files are great. Everything else, nightmare, nightmare. I'm trying to do like a Marie Kondo kind of thing where I'm getting rid of junk that I don't doesn't find doesn't bring passion. I can't
Well,
use
it
it
sounds
for
like you
anything.
did that
Just get rid of
actually a
it.
few
But
years ago, but
yeah,
only with
it's
your
just a work in
iTunes
progress. It's a work in
library.
progress. Yeah, it's the priority in my head.
Oh,
I'm like, if I've got a clean desktop and I know where to get my files, everything's fine. And then I turn the computer off, and then I
right.
just have like this is fine me
Yeah.
moment where the fire's behind me, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, I'm in the middle of
I've
I feel
definitely been
you
in that
because I'm in the
situation,
middle of a real finger troubles in
living
the
around
chat,
this
so
for
he knows that I'm in the middle of like retagging and organizing and archiving, 15 years worth of mashups, and I've got 8 more years to go,
yeah, yeah.
but it is a slog. Yeah.
Because
Yep.
I saw your met with, is it
Yeah,
Morgoth
like
in
five.
Germany? and that you got one of his hard drives with loads of backups on it, and
Yeah.
like that was
Yeah.
really satisfying to
I
see.
need to
Like, yes,
re-tag
get the
it.
data,
And
back it
unfortunately
up.
the software doesn't work on my
I love
laptop,
that.
but it will on my old computer. So that will also get uploaded, and that's gonna live in the cloud. We're working on a mashup database. So of course when you're telling me how you organize all your shit, it's like, oh, it's, yeah. Absolutely. So where do you see
Yeah,
yourself
you've got to.
in a
Definitely got to.
year? Like another 20 mashup albums, or
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. My partner and I were expecting our first child in
oh
November,
god, oh
so
god,
I have like four
and then it's
months
like,
of
and then you're
free
gonna
time
pull a
left,
one
and then
board
it's
Jew
done
and just be
forever
like,
for the
I'm
next 10
retiring.
years. So yeah, so you got me in it for another 4 months before I'm pretty much gone forever. Um, I'm working on some projects right now. I put out the compilation albums. I put 15 tracks, core tracks with some bonus tracks throughout, and then I got to volume 10, and I took my time with it. And I was going to put out like the month after volume 9. I was like, I've got 30 tracks sitting here. Should I release a volume 11? And then I was like, no, I'm just going to put them all in 10 and kind of like seal that off for a bit and come back to it. But there's some projects that I want to work on right now that I've wanted to do for a while. A personal kind of album. I've got another themed album I'm working on, and I'm definitely working on another Halloween album as well for the future. So I'm kind of working more on
You know
themed
we love a
albums rather
theme.
than compilation
Like
tracks
I
right now.
love the theme
Uh,
albums. So
but yeah,
I mean we're constantly
yeah.
working
So
on themed albums. So yeah, that's a good, yeah, because the mashups volumes are very scattershot. But like, the Calvin Harris one that you did, the Taylor Swift emo one, these are like very like it's got a hook.
the Calvin Harris one was one that I wanted to do for a long time, like a long, long time. Just taking all the instrumentals from that and replacing the vocalists to give it a new, it's almost like that's the alternative timeline version there. And the Taylor Swift one was just me chatting with a friend, and we
I
asked
can
just what
make,
if
oh
Taylor
my,
Swift was
three
emo,
days. I
and
can
a
make
light
this
bulb moment. I
happen.
was like, give me
Well, I
three
was so
days,
happy
and
because
We'll figure this
we've
out.
been doing emo nights and there just aren't
But
enough
the
emo
next theme
mashups.
one,
And then you come out of nowhere and it's like, oh my god, I
yeah,
finally got a Taking Back Sunday, like a really good Taking Back Sunday mashup. I've got Hawthorne Heights, or did you do Hawthorne Heights? Wait a minute, that might have been somebody else. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
uh, Tokyo Hotel, Fall
But
Out Boy,
your Jimmy Eat
Taking
World
Back
stuff is
Sunday,
not.
Jimmy Eat
It's like
World,
the
30
other
Seconds to
tracks
Mars,
besides the middle.
Paris.
You have Futures. Which. Oh really?
Yeah.
I love Jimmy Eat World. I mean, they
Oh,
are
Jimmy Eat
like
World,
one of
my
the
favorite
most
band.
boring live
Undoubtedly
bands
my
I've
favorite
ever
band. Yeah.
seen in my life. It's like, but
They're
but
just
I
old
love,
dads
yeah, I really
essentially.
really
Like
love.
they're
I mean,
so
even
humble and
I'm a fan
lovely,
up
but
to,
their songs
up
are
to the present day,
great.
even though they're practically a throwback retro act at this point. But yeah, oh, cool. All right, well, we need to wrap this
Yeah.
up. We've got DJ Airson coming on next. But thank you so much for coming on to the show, Lewis. And yes, absolutely. I
Time. It's
love
been
it.
great. It's been
And
great to
I
finally
look forward
talk in
to your
person as
next
well.
20
Well, voice
albums
to
in
voice.
the next month. Out
I'll
tomorrow.
do my best.
Exactly. Enjoy
They're
your
out tomorrow.
summertime in Scotland, and I hope things
No
open
big
up
deal.
for you guys over there soon. And we look forward to hearing more mashups from you. All right. Thanks, Lewis. Ciao.
Thanks so much.
All
Thanks for
right,
having me. It's been
everybody.
great.
That was Lewis Wake. Thanks also, Chat Pod, for helping out with a few of the tech stuff. Yeah, I turned off a bunch of shit. I mean, I went back to this scene, and I guess that part is still happening back there. But I turned the chroma key off. So anyway, I hope it wasn't too stuttery. I hope it wasn't too horrible, and everything That's yeah. So anyway, we are going to hold on. I need to update our stream titles here, and we are going to get ready for neon. Did I call it neon night? Neon nights? Shit, is it plural or not? I don't even know. Oh my god, my computer. Oh. You know what? Okay, I know we're supposed to start happy hour like right now, but it's gonna take me like 20 minutes every time I click something. No, I'm just half kidding. All right, neon night. Harrison. Oh wait, Harrison says, "Oh, Pride Happy Hour road trip." Oh my God, Harrison literally just texted me. I guess Neon Night's actually gonna happen in 3 hours right now. It's Neon Night, not plural. Oh my God, I love my team. I love my team. All right. Oh, well, this is cool. It's Pride Month. It's June, and getting ready for Pride Week. So a happy hour. All right. So we are doing happy hour then. Let me change this go live notification. Pride road trip happy hour. Don't you love the chunk, chunk, chunk? I had to put the microphone down right here. Okay, we're going to do ASMR just here for a little bit, okay? Pride road trip. Is that satisfying? Do you love it? Listen to me work. Oh, yeah. Type on that keyboard. Yeah. Okay, all right, here we go. And let's change the category. Oh my God. Literally every click. Every time I click, it's like. But I can't buy the new computer yet. I can't. Besides, Mama needs to throw a few parties before I can afford the new laptop. But fortunately, it seems like the timing is going to be really good for Apple to release the new MacBooks and for me to have a few parties under my belt. So I don't have to, I don't know, have a Kickstarter campaign to, buy poor Adriana a new laptop. Okay, category, come on. Music. Oh, God, this is so frustrating. Okay. There we go. Just one character at a time. Go. Let's go. Okay. And let's pop that tag off. Literally. Oh my God. I'm trying to put in the LGBT tag. Let's do it. By the way, I love the Twitch. First of all, they've had the LGBTQIA plus tag for a while, but they just added like 300 new tags. I love that transgender is one of them. And there's like a zillion other things too. So, all right, there we go. Now I'm just waiting. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. All right, thanks everyone for being here. Get ready for Pride Road Trip Happy Hour with DJ Erison, followed by Neon Night with the Dance Commander Disco. It's also going to be Erison for another 3 hours. You're getting super bonus with her because you might see her a little less on, at least on the weekends, because those are going to be, she's a wedding DJ by trade. So, but you will get her on Thursdays. Her and DJ Time are going to be alternating. So, but yeah, this is your last blast of like 6 hours of DJ Erison, and I'm DJing with her tomorrow night for the grand rebooted at DNA Lounge. And then DJ Time, you heard it here first. DJ Time might be live streaming on Sunday from Disneyland. So, we'll see if that actually happens. I hope it does, but not a music live stream, just literally him wandering around Disneyland. So anyway, thanks everyone for being here. And if you do not see DJ Erison, just hit refresh and have a good weekend, everyone.